All right, all right. We are back at the Grit Won't Quit podcast studio. We have a very special guest on today. We have Rich from VidaRich. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. I'm very happy to be here.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I've known you for a number of years now, and you've you've been working on this creation through the good life, right?
It's a 20-year startup, I always like to say. Yeah.
So what got you into it?
Many years ago, long before the concept of the coffee booster came on board, 20 years ago, I had a business that was doing very well, was thriving. I had left Wall Street, was doing a bunch of different things, created this base business, did very well, but bored me to death. I had and the nutritional industry was just in its infancy at that point.
So you were working, but you just weren't enjoying what you were doing.
Yeah. I had a business, and again, it was doing well, but it was all business. It was just boring. I knew nothing about it. I sold it by the numbers. I kind of used my financial training in an old man industry, and it worked well, but I had zero interest. It didn't do anything for me personally other than the money. So the thought was, how do I transition that cash flow into something that would give me, more a pleasure, be more satisfying in life instead of just a source of money. And at the time, it's kind of a funny story, the center fielder of my softball team was the son of the founder of what very quickly grew into the largest nutritional private placement company in the world at that time.
Okay.
They're still significant. I'm not sure whether several others grew up as the industry grew, but and it linked back to the connections to home shopping and infomercials and yada yada, and they blew up. And my brother's organic chemist, lead chemist for a large flavors and fragrance company, so he knows this kind of stuff in his sleep. The center fielder was the connection, and one thing led to another, and just while sitting on the bench, conversations led, and we just started playing with the idea. Back then, the nutritional industry was today it's kind of blown up and it's everywhere, but back then it was Twin Lab multivitamins at your local supermarket or CVS, and that was it. The powders didn't exist. And the thought, everyone knew that the tablets kind of ran right through you before they had a chance to break down and get whatever. They say your toilet just got very yellow, kind of from, and we just thought, okay, we got to make it liquid, but been the best, but packaging wise, that was a waste. So the thought was to create a powder, and it just didn't exist at the time. And everyone thought we were crazy, and we just kind of make it as high end. The thought was the good life, that it was going to be a really high quality product that was going to cater to that end. And we were even back then, the model was, had a little bigger dreams. The model was to be a blend of a multi-level and a wholesale company, all the better. So there was a huge, we just had big dreams for it all back then. Created a year and a half to get all the trademarks and create the product, and it was incredibly high end. I've still not seen a product on the market that compares. But after 2 years of development, we bought it, we launched it, and by the time I got the product to my warehouse, my dad had just taken sick. And wasn't expected they gave us days a week at most, and so we kind of put that all on hold and was there for my dad, and that just kind of went on in that crisis mode for a while, and he passed 4 years later.
I'm sorry.
And he had a very good life. I'm the last of a whole bunch of kids. He had a very good life. But in those 4 years, the industry just blew up.
Okay.
Everything changed. So the vitamin shop, as everyone local here knows, is familiar with the vitamin shop. At the time, they had 2 locations, 2 little health food stores over in the city that hadn't even crossed the Hudson. By the time we went back to looking at the product, they were in every strip mall, in every town, and every highway. They were everywhere, and the industry as a whole had just blown up and gone through some transitions. And as we were starting to evaluate what we could, how we could kind of come back in that new environment. I moved everything down to kind of recover from the stressful years caring from my dad. Moved my business from North Jersey down to my beach house in Lavalette, and 2 months later, Sandy hit.
Oh God!
and wiped us out there. So one thing after another after another.
Not great.
Right, exactly. But the timing has been great now, and we decided, after that, it kind of just came to the decision that the nutritional marketplace was just so saturated. There were so many products, so much crap for the most part out there that it just didn't make sense to go through the effort and the process. And then it was COVID that, through the years, you felt a transition in people just becoming more aware of the need to look after their own health, to not trust the theys out there, the community that was telling you what to do and how to do it, and to start doing your own research, and so the thought came back that the marketplace might be a little more receptive to a really high-end, good quality product, even if it was a little bit pricier than all the crap that's out there now. And that's what we did. We started, it took probably about 2 years in the making for the product, kind of knew what we wanted in it in terms of the ingredients and the benefits and all that, but getting that drinkable where you could put it in your coffee, because people don't like you messing. I usually use a different word, but not on camera. People don't like you messing with their coffee. Yep. So it's going to have to be something that's palatable. And we do our taste demos all over the place, because I like people to have the chance to try it before they commit. 98% of the people that ever bought it actually tasted it first, which is a beautiful thing. Because you got to like it. It's not going to do you any good. I always say, I can convince you to buy it based on the benefits, but it's not going to do you any good sitting up in your kitchen cabinet.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Andrew, you drink coffee? We'll have to open this up later and see how you like it.
Yeah. There you go. Samples are all around.
I don't drink coffee, so I don't know. But I heard that we could put in some
warm
water.
As I just told you, probably a third of though it was formulated to go into coffee, probably I didn't realize how many people don't drink coffee, because I love it. The first thing I do is go for my coffee pot when I wake up in the morning, after my morning sun, of course. As we went out and doing demos, I didn't realize how many people either don't or can't drink caffeine. So
I don't do it for the caffeine. I just don't drink coffee.
Well, a lot of people just can't, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it, or drink tea or whatever else their routine is, so probably about a third of our customers, it wasn't intended, it wasn't the target, but probably about a third of our customers drink it as a coffee replacement as opposed to a coffee additive. And
so now, what does it do for you?
A whole slew of things, but it kind of
key ones.
It kind of grew out of, we have a high-end skincare line, an all-natural clean skincare line, and I had that from before COVID, and then we kind of stopped marketing that through the COVID period because there was a lot of done in person. I have a lot of very loyal customers from that product, and as collagen was becoming a big thing in the marketplace 3-4 years ago, they were all reaching out and asking if we had a collagen product, and I kept trying to explain to them, well, collagen's really just a low-end protein. It's not all of that, but there's benefits to it. There's things you get from collagen. Collagen's really just a low-end protein, but it's a dense source of glycine, which is the amino acid your body needs to make its own collagen, but it needs a whole slew of other things. So after, got a little tired of explaining all that, decided, all right, we'll just make one.
But sometimes I think that's what the market needs. You could explain things to people all day long. Yep. Do this, do that. They really want you to do this, do that. They want to just buy it
for them, right? Yeah. They want it made simple, right? And so we there's a full dose.
How service businesses exist.
Exactly. So it starts off. There's a full dose of collagen in it, but it's almost, I hate to say, it's almost for marketing purposes, because if I said there's a full dose of glycine in there, and that's all you need. You need a lot of other ingredients to support that glycine, but if I said there's a full dose of glycine, people would have no idea what I was talking about. In one ear, right out the other. Exactly. So there's a full dose of collagen, but more importantly, there's all the other elements you need to make use, for your body to make use of that glycine to produce its own collagen. It needs vitamin C, vitamin A, zinc, copper, manganese, a slew of other nutrients. Those are all very intentionally built into the superfood blend that goes along to support the collagen.
Yeah, sure.
So at its core, it's a really high-end collagen booster. So that's the start. That's probably enough for a lot of people, but there's benefits way beyond that. So and then on top of that, to me, the real high-end aspect of the blend is the mushroom blend.
Okay.
There's a full gram of lion's mane mushroom, which is for brain health and gut health. More and more research coming in on that, but the mushrooms as a category are probably one of the most clinically documented benefits of anything in the nutritional field, short of other than maybe turmeric and curcumin. So there's a slew of benefits, so much so that I wouldn't even make some of the claims just for liability reasons. Sure. You just don't want to. But if you Google them, it's like unbelievable the benefits that they have. We use nothing but there's a whole. What a lot of people in the marketplace don't know, like you said, you want it to be simple for them. There's a lot of different variations of where you can get them. There's a mushroom's called fruiting body, the actual mushroom. the root system to the mushroom is called mycelium. Legally, it's part of the mushroom, so you can make all the legal claims of mushrooms. The vast majority of the big brands out there use the mycelium as opposed to the actual mushroom.
Okay.
It's substantially cheaper, but it's only about 10% as nutrient dense as the mushroom itself. So we use 100% fruiting body. We use and then even beyond, there's forms as either just powder, 1-to-1 extract, or double extraction. Powder needs to be heated to get the benefits. A 1-to-1 extract is that it's preheated for you, just in hot water, and then the double extract is using alcohols to extract it, which I don't like doing. We don't want to introduce that into the product. So we use what I consider to be by far the best, highest form of the two mushrooms. And again, mushrooms as a category they're all anti-inflammatory. They all boost immunity, which is pretty important with all the craziness going on in the world these days. So they all have great benefits, but these two in particular, the lion's mane has brain, actually helps develop new neurons for brain connections, and then the cordyceps actually boost ATP production. ATP brings more oxygen into your blood.
Oh, wow.
So in and of itself, it helps increase focus but it also increases energy and stamina by, just getting more blood to your oxygen, more blood to your brains and all your other organs. That's supported by the superfood blend is raw cacao, spirulina, and beetroot. They're all very magnesium dense, so it's a nice little magnesium boost as well, magnesium is the #1 deficiency these days, especially for women. They're all good prebiotics, so long term it's good for your gut, but they all boost nitric oxide. Nitric oxide increases blood flow. So you're getting more blood, carrying more oxygen from the ATP, again, for mental clarity and focus and for natural energy and stamina.
Should we drink it right now?
Crack one open. If you got a coffee.
I wish I had a warm water.
There you go.
But here we are. I'll have to try that when we're done off camera. But it's crazy to think like how much quality, and when you say it, you're passionate about it. Like again, you talk about your old job that you had prior, the old business you had prior to this. Like it was. You sound passionate, you sound happy, you sound enthused when you're talking about it.
Well, I enjoy doing this. The other business, it was just making money, and it created a nice lifestyle, but I didn't look forward to getting, I think that the test, I saw this on Facebook somewhere just recently, where the real test is if you wake up excited to go to work, that the purpose, you wake up, you don't need an alarm clock in the morning if you wake up with purpose, if you're excited about what you're going to go do. Like this morning, I couldn't wait to get out of bed. I went to did my beach walk. Couldn't go swimming as usual today because of the storm, but all I was thinking about was getting on here and doing all this, and so it's I like it. It's exciting. So I love going out doing those demos. I know it sounds crazy. I'm at an age where I should be retired and sitting back doing nothing, and I'm running all over God's creation, open stores, and doing this and doing the demos.
And how many stores is VidaRich in?
We're in. I don't list. There's an app on the website, a store locator app, and I don't list all the little many things that we do. Like we're in a lot of places where people are selling it into their own customer base, like small studios, but we're in about 40 now big primary, retail big natural stores. Markets, like big stores. The closest one here, and it was the first, is how we got started. It was Soulberry Natural Market right over here in Spring Lake, and we do incredibly well there. And that from that start, he was nice enough to give us the opportunity. We went in and did one demo, and blew them away. They couldn't believe, and it was, can I use this word? It was like a shit show because I had no idea what I was doing. I went in there, I actually had a coffee pot. We plugged in, we were making pots of coffee. It was crazy, but we sold like a couple cases of product, and they went from being hesitant to bring us in to saying, when can you come back? Oh, here you go.
Andrew, you gonna try this? All right.
Andrew
and I are going to try this. We've never done.
Now I got to tell you the warning
on camera before.
When we do our demos, we get, so this should be interesting. We get anywhere from people loving it, thinking, oh, this is great, to like, oh, I could do this, to the occasional like eye twitch, and the eye twitches tend to be the most enthusiastic. So
the good thing is, Andrew,
we'll see.
We won't catch Andrew if the eye twitches. Now, what are we taking?
There's a scoop. There's a scooper in there. It's usually buried in because it's a pretty full canister.
Yep, it is a filled canister. So it definitely is a full canister.
Yep,
So how much are we putting in?
1 scoop is a full serving.
1 scoop is a full serving.
Down the bottom of the cup first is there hot water in there already? All right,
hot
so
water.
it'll be a little messier mixing it.
Right.
Typically, you want to put the scoop in first and pour the hot water in. It dissolves right in.
All right, Andrew, you can start working on that one.
There you go.
Let me do 1 scoop for myself.
All right, I like this.
Smells good, Andrew.
Kind of on the spot here, but you know.
All right, let's close.
But this is why I like doing the demos, because if someone doesn't like the taste, I don't want them finding that out after they've bought it and paid for it. I'd rather that we want everyone to be happy and satisfied. So I love doing the demos. We do them over at the Brick Farmers Market. You're local here, and just do incredibly well there. We blow it out every week. It's amazing.
All right, so how much stirring do we need?
Well, if you pour it in first, it would dissolve right in.
All right.
You just want to stir that you don't see clumps on top. So
I'm
in hot
there.
liquid, it should be you should be fine.
I'm just about there. You want to go first, or you want me to go first? All right, Andrew's going first.
Off camera, going first. We're watching the eyes.
Good.
Oh, there you go. We like it. It's hot. There you go. Yeah. The drum roll.
All right, I could drink that.
There you go.
It is a little hot.
Beautiful
Andrew is
thing.
correct. It's good to see that our hot water machine is working.
It's working.
Is working according to plan. So now, what's the next step? What's the evolution? You're in 40 stores currently.
Well, and we roll that out. We have invitations now to go because of the quality. We're in some really, really high-end quality
All
stores.
in New Jersey? Or
No.
everywhere?
Kind of in the tri-state area. For whatever reason, we just kind of followed where we've grown more kind of north and west.
Okay.
So we got out to the Soulberry is located in Spring Lake, but their main location is out in New Hope, Pennsylvania. It's actually
great area.
Soulberry, Pennsylvania, which is the next town over, which that's the name.
Yeah.
And when we did so well here, they asked us to go there. That was step 2. We went there, and from there we kind of just blew up into that region, which is a very affluent area out in Bucks County in PA.
Sure.
And it kind of grew up in North Jersey and PA. So we're in the tri-state, some in New York, but that seems the North Jersey and
how's the distribution? How are you getting all to 40? How are you?
Well, we start by we make it no-brainer for them. One of these stores that we're in, again, like I said, some very high-end stores that are very selective because they, just like I said, the market's saturated. Everybody wants to be in those stores, so they have to be selective as to what they only have so much shelf space. They're selective with that, and then what they're going to push and promote. We were lucky enough to get, because Soulberry has such a good reputation in the market, that kind of being there first kind of helped us get into other places So now, with almost a phone call, we can get into any other stores. But I don't want to go there because it's still unknown until I'm out there demoing it, right? Until we get. So typically, what we do is we bring a few cases with us. We go to the store before we even make them, put it on their shelf. We go do a demo. We sell a bunch for them, so they start on a positive note. They start with revenue instead of having to lay out money, and then whatever is left over, we put on their shelves and onto their, and typically it's onto their next location. So we help them introduce it to their customer base, and then once we get beyond that point, then they just order it, and we send them, buy the case, and we send them buy the case and refill, and that part of the business is really starting to settle in now, which is really nice. The early stage was in line with what we're doing here, was the grind. And we're still doing the grind. But the grind is driving, and the further out we get, there's a bunch of stores waiting for me, kind of took a couple weeks off into August because this is my favorite time of year. But there's a bunch of stores, new stores waiting for me now out in PA, but they're all 2.5 hours away from here. So the grind for me, because I love the demos, the grind for me is the 2-hour drive out. And then, 5 hours on my feet interacting with a gazillion people every day. That part I love.
Like you love it.
That part I love. The driving, not so much so. So the further away it goes, the more of a grind it becomes. Where we're getting up earlier and earlier, getting home later and later, especially coming down to the, I made the mistake of doing a big one out in PA on a Friday a couple weeks back on a Friday. After what I was thinking.
Listen, once you live on the Jersey Shore, you should know. You should know. You should only go north.
Right.
If you're going anywhere on a Friday or a Saturday, go north.
Coming home is what made me decide to take a couple weeks off and get started again in September.
On a Sunday, I won't even go down. I won't even go down like where you are, because then you got to come back up. Like it's just crazy.
Well, that's what I said. Getting here today, I left myself what I thought was ample time and barely got in under the wire. Right, just so much traffic, so many people doing, especially with the bad weather we've had. Everybody's out and about.
Beautiful out today.
So
So
gorgeous.
that's great. I mean, and now the farmers markets
and then
are good
I'm going to
too?
interrupt for a sec because that the pitch on your end now, and big part of the reason for being here was one, I need to start exploring now because we've not done this at all, the online presence.
Yep.
So that people can be aware. I can make people aware of the name and the brand and the benefits. They don't get to taste it online, but at least to make people aware so that when they see it on a shelf somewhere,
It's recognized.
It's recognizable. So I can start just selling to these stores without having to be there first.
An online taste test would be great.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like there's technology we can
Automated,
cutting edge.
Yeah, it's AI at its next level.
So yeah, just I have to explore.
That's
I've
great.
not sent a single email. I've not done any of that. I do post on my personal Facebook page. I created a VidaRich page, but I don't even know what to do. It's all being done just on my personal Facebook page, and that's about it.
That's
so
great.
I
I
need
feel
to
the benefits already.
really grow and expand on that. I like the fact that you're sipping away. That means if you were just trying to be.
No, if I didn't like it, I would have stopped drinking.
Exactly,
would
have pushed it aside. Yeah, so I like it.
It's interesting. I hope I feel better afterwards. I feel like $1 million already.
There you go.
This is great. So where do you see this going in the next 5 years?
Obviously we want to build it out. I think once you develop, the grind was necessary, in my opinion, to know that it works.
Proof of concept.
Right, and that there's
You've proved it out.
The big proof is not just that I can go in, and this is when going back to Salisbury, which a lot of my I have great loyalty to them for
Shout out to these guys for letting Rich in and starting his business.
Right over in Spring Lake on Route 71. Go visit them for all your health food needs. And a great organic market. And just great people. But the real test was not that I was able to go in there and sell a bunch, right? Because you could just be fast talking, sell, and one little sip is maybe not it. But the fact that a month later, as people burn through their 30-day supply.
Now this is a 30-day supply?
It's a 30, each jar is 30 servings. So if you're assuming you're doing one serving a day.
Is that the norm?
It's the norm. I'll be honest with you, I'm usually a 2-scoop kind of, I do one first thing in the morning, and then I'll throw one in just to sip. It's out in my car now in my little thermos that I just kind of sip over the course of the day.
But for the average
average person, one scoop in your morning coffee.
In the morning coffee or in your warm water. So this is lasts for 30 days.
Yes. Yeah. And then we're part of the benefit of doing the demos is I get to interact with a lot of people. I get a lot of feedback because in those markets, the customers there are very knowledgeable and they're already using a lot of stuff, so they know their stuff. So I get a lot of feedback, have a lot of good, interesting conversations. So it lets me know where we're at. You know what I mean? And
you have your finger on the pulse.
Yeah, my thought was, I'll be honest with you, after tweaking, I did a small production run of the first one, thinking it was going to roll out there to get feedback of all the changes I had to make, and it was anything but. And luckily, knock on, it sold through the wazoo. People couldn't believe how good it tastes for all that's in it. Blah blah blah, and we just ran with it at that point. But I still like the idea of constantly tweaking and improving. It's just my nature. I'm always messing. I don't, Everyone tells me it's going so well. Why you're messing with it? A tinkerer, yes. But I think there's always ways to make things better, right? So when you get feedback from people, over time you get an idea of if there's little niches you're missing or
is your brother ready to strangle you some days with the tweaks?
It's funny, he's not. My brother, with all his degrees, is not that much involved in the process. I go when I have questions, I go to him, and he's my taste tester. Him and his wife are my taste testers. I have a handful of the regulars that do the early stage taste testing and are tolerant of me every time I'm running down with new samples. But we have some what I consider improvements coming down the line. There'll be some new products over time, but not a lot. There won't be. I don't like that. It won't be the whole mass. There'll be some sort of a greens food. There's already a night blend. We're waiting. Because there's a lot of people that have sleep issues, but it's a harder thing to target. The reason we started with this is people already have their morning routine. People drink their coffee. A lot of people already put collagen in the coffee, and if you're putting just a scoop of collagen in the coffee without all those other elements, you're completely wasting your time and money. But you don't have to teach people those steps already.
You should probably have your own podcast educating people.
Well,
no, I'm serious.
We'll talk. We'll work something out.
I mean, again, if people don't understand, and they think they're spending their hard-earned dollars adding collagen and it's not doing what it's intended to do, it sounds like there's an education issue.
Yes, yeah, and I need to start doing a lot of that.
So I mean, when you think about that, that's like, God, I could just imagine you think about you doing something good for yourself and just pissing money away.
Oh, right, yes. Well, and unfortunately, that's pretty common in the nutritional industry. There's a lot of people will know the buzzword, but they don't know the details behind it or the amounts or the different variations and all that. So people just see it on most people don't know how to read. Most people don't read the nutritional panels or the ingredients, and if even the ones that do, most of them don't know really what to look for.
Yeah, I got
it. So yes, there's a good learning curve there. But the thought was to just make something that's high end, that brings all that to bear, and then the more someone knows, the better we look, basically.
Yeah.
So I like being in those markets where. That said, we do the farmers market where it's an entirely different
that's everybody
clientele, and I have a blast doing those, and we do very well there. We have a blast.
Like I said, I think you just enjoy. I think your personality, who you are, from what I know of you, you just enjoy being there, handing out, talking.
I do.
Meeting a
gazillion people. It's so night and day from the old industrial business that I had that, like I said, did well financially, and it was mindlessly simple, but just boring. Just no incentive to run with it. So this is fun. This is fun, and hopefully turns out to be just as successful in the long run.
Awesome. So. Now, you have plans to expand it outside the tri-state area?
Certainly. But as I said, the thought is, and that's kind of where we're at. Decided to take some time off in August here, enjoying myself a little bit down up at the beach, but primarily to start investigating this stuff. We've had enough talks. I'm a techno moron, right? But yet I launched an online business. So the thought is that it's there. I'll figure it out. But I have to commit the time to that now, to learning and making a presence there, with the website, with all the online marketing, with the emails, that whole. That I just don't do any of now.
I think the email marketing and even the subscription based. I mean, if this is 1 month and people like it, well, they could just go to the next month. I mean, again, you don't want to take away these distributors that have been good to you, but at the same time, some people would rather just hit the button and have it drop shipped to them.
Yes, and we do both. We do both, and in my opinion, one supports the other.
Yeah.
So I like, it's just easier for me to sell to a store. Sell a case at a time. Sure. Let them process it. Let them do it. The cost, the crazy thing is the cost of shipping a full case of 12 is pretty much the same, $1 or $2 more. Literally, that's all. Than shipping a single case because UPS has minimums.
Yeah.
So, and it's just so much more efficient. So much more. You can leverage your time, leverage your energy, and
the consumer,
and they're giving me the opportunity to leverage their customers into their store. So usually loyal to that. I'll never undermine that, and that's what we'd like to build out. But we've not grown out of the area. A couple of the chains I support have one of them has 19 locations. Okay. We're in 8. We're really only supporting 4. There's 4 in New Jersey, 4 in New York. We're in those, but they have 9 others down the coast into Florida.
Okay, cool.
But we haven't gone into those because my fear is that we ship a case in, it sits on their shelf, and it'll just sit there because no one knows what it is yet down there.
Yeah, you almost have to go down there.
Yes.
Do your demo
So until we can start doing either expanding or looking to create a sales force.
You need like a sales force or a street team that can go in, do these demo days, and
or just morph myself somehow.
Yeah.
But no, the thought is to create. And not just in those markets, that we'd had such success in the brick farmers market that we're looking, it's a little late in the season now, but looking to put a team together to do that in markets up and down, because those markets are everywhere. And it just catered to so many people. And to me, that's real hands-on exposure. That's the best. I need to explore because the leverage you can get from online is just ginormous. So there's visibility and
there's economies of scale that you have to look at.
Yeah, big time, big time. So
and
the
again,
combination of the two is what we need to do.
And maybe, again, you want to stay loyal to these guys in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut who were there from you for day one. Maybe you don't offer online sales there, but someone that one of their friends that's in Connecticut or whatever, Ohio, you take those online orders till you have a sale, till you have a distribution mechanism out there.
Right. Well, we actually have a pretty substantial online market down in Florida now. So that's kind of our second market, and that's coming from being in the stores up here and doing the demos here because there's so many people up here that are during the summer months are shopping here, but then go down there for the rest of the year and then buy it that way. So we get a lot of that in various markets. So you need to have the online element so people aren't dependent. Yeah. And a lot of people that are there just in any of these stores are just visiting from wherever. So the online but the reality is, as we grow that marketplace, you can still be loyal to your regional people and have stores down in Florida because somebody from Florida isn't driving up to New Jersey or New Hope to go buy a jar of stuff. So yes, we're very much looking to build that out, but I need to build up the reputation of the product a little as we go, so it doesn't just sit there collecting dust when we.
Andrew, what'd you think?
Great taste.
There you go.
Great.
So, and I always say it comes down to
done.
It comes down to the first sip because it's an incredibly high-end blend of ingredients loaded with all kinds of benefits.
I feel like I have more energy already.
Short term and the energy, it's that may be in your head, but there is some reality to that. But nitric oxide, you're getting the energy not from a stimulant, from increased blood flow, right? But nitric oxide, unlike caffeine, which kicks in right away and kind of crashes in 2 to 3 hours, nitric oxide takes about 2 to 3 hours to spike. So that's you'll feel the peak effect a couple hours from now, and then it will just be a nice stable run. So if you drink coffee, it's a really nice complement to that because you'll get the instant kick. I don't know if I just clapped into that. That's going to blow the speakers out. But you'll get the instant kick from the caffeine, and then as the caffeine starts winding up, there's also L-theanine in there, which helps stabilize it, and it works synergistically with caffeine, so it kind of helps that as well. But as that starts winding down, is when the nitric oxide benefits of the increased blood flow that are ramping up. So it just kind of extends the benefits of your, very naturally extends the benefits of your morning cup of coffee.
Do you know Dr. Jennifer Vargas from, she's in the Brick area. She's a trainer and a coach.
Oh, I do. Yes. I don't know her personally, but I'm familiar.
She was on the podcast. I'd love to get this in Jen's hands because she's all about nutrition and everything.
There you go. There you go.
So shout out to Jen. I'll talk to you about this.
And that's the secondary market we have now. We have quite a few besides the big stores. And it happened from my customers making the third-party introductions out to their holistic doctors and so forth. And so those are what I was talking about. We have a bunch of things. One of my biggest ones now, is a holistic doctor. She's got a little storefront. She brought the product in on the recommendation of a client of hers that uses it and was a regular. She tried it. She loved it. She saw the ingredients. She loved that. She brought it in, let all the other doctors try it, and there's 3 or 4, and they blow it out.
That's great.
Because they have one-on-one interactions with people. So they're like a force of 5 of me selling to all their customers that come in on their one-on-one interactions. And those networks, anybody, whether it be like like a yoga studio or anyone that's got or one-on-one interaction with their regular customers, we set them up, and we make it very easy for them. We usually do consignment initially, so there's no risk on their part to see if they take it, but we don't put them. They're selling into their customers. We don't put them on the website for store locations for people to go to because yoga studio, you'd be knocking on the door half the time. There's nobody there. Sure. But there's a lot of those that are selling them into their customers and doing very well with it. And it just leverages for someone in that position like Jen. There's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many people they can sell their services to, and only so much they can charge because there's somebody next door trying to do the same thing. So there's limits to that. Once you kind of saturate your time, your schedule. So my thought has always been that they need to find some way. If you're in a health field, this is a great way to do it, to leverage those relationships to bring extra income extra revenue into your business. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yes, we absolutely support that.
This is a great conversation. Let people, as we wrap up today, let people know where they could find VidaRich. I mean, not don't name 40 stores, but let them know where to find you online, on your Instagram, anything like that, so that then they can go to find out more about where it's close
beautiful.
to them.
It's VidaRich.com, and it's with a D. It's Life, VIDA. Rich, VidaRich.com.
Now, is the rich because it's rich ingredients, or is it because rich is your name?
Total coincidence that it pairs my name. It's full of rich, full of life is what I took. But yeah, it doesn't hurt that it's a little tie-in.
All right, so VidaRich.com. And, well, Rich, it was great having you on today. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for letting Andrew and I try this.
Hugely appreciate the opportunity and had so much fun being here. So,
Awesome.
And run real quick, without mentioning the 40 stores, on the website is the link up top, a store locator, and you can jump on there, and that will give you plug in your zip, and it'll give you all the locations of all the stores that we're in.
Sounds great. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, man. Thanks
This
so
was
much
great.
for having me.
You bet.
Had a great time.